Don't get caught doing these things in a place of worship. Church is a time for reflection, a place to clear your head with like minded individuals and count your blessings. It's not the time to browse your phone or cram onto a crowded pew. Let's dive into 20 things you should avoid doing during Mass. Go in with a closed mind. Maybe someone asked you to attend a service with them. Maybe you went out of pure curiosity. Either way, don't walk into a place of worship with a closed mind. It's inappropriate to laugh, roll your eyes, or scoff at any point. Regardless of why you're going, remember where you are and show respect. Talk during the service. Church opens the floor for discussion among worshippers, but wait until it's time. Don't engage in conversation, however quiet, in the middle of a service. Churches often get pretty packed, so you're probably not as hushed as you think. Whip out your phone. Unless it's an emergency, there's no reason to pull out your phone during Mass. A common rule is to at least have them on silent and not check those notifications until you've left the building. Chew gum. Chewing gum is a big church no-no, and it's even worse if you smack it. Between accepting the Eucharist or sharing the chalice, the last thing you want is to accidentally lose your gum. Not only that, but churchgoers won't want to hear gum smacking in the pews. Wear inappropriate clothing. While most churches don't care what you wear, it's still important to avoid inappropriate clothes like miniskirts, graphic tees, or plunging necklines. Most churchgoers opt for a business casual look, though comfy casual is also perfectly acceptable. Arrive late. Aim to arrive at least 10 minutes early for your sake and other churchgoers. Late arrivals usually mean standing room only, especially during holidays, and can inconvenience those already nestled in the pews. You also don't want to run the risk of searching for a seat when the service starts. Squeeze your way to the front pews. While we're on the topic, the polite thing to do is to hang back if you show up late. Don't scurry to the front pews to make room for yourself. Those first few rows are the best seats in the house, and trying to make space only holds up the service. Let children cry throughout the service. Church isn't always the easiest place for children. They can't quite communicate the same way we do, which means the potential for crying or outbursts. Take children outside when they get too rowdy. You can calm them down in private without distracting other worshippers. Public displays of affection. Thankfully, this is a no-brainer for most people. However, some couples think that church is a great place for PDA. It isn't. Hand-holding isn't the end of the world, but anything above that is usually a stretch. Wear lipstick. Wearing makeup to church isn't a big deal at all, but that bright color might stain the chalice. Sure, it's wiped off after every sip, but it's sometimes better to avoid the risk at all. If you do go with lipstick, make sure it's smudge-proof. Bring your own food. We're not talking about children with a handful of Cheerios or people with bottles of water. No, we're talking about full-blown snacks in crinkly bags. Food is only really allowed in certain circumstances and is best avoided until after Mass. Keep your hat on. The jury's still out on whether hats should be worn indoors, but it's a little different in church. Take off those ball caps before Mass starts. Everyone's in the Sunday best, and you should feel free to join them. Save seats for people. Hey, this isn't a movie theater. It's one thing if someone's just parking the car, but it's another if you save an entire pew. Worshippers like to get a spot near the front, and it's a little rude to prevent that, especially if they're older. Leave the service early. Emergencies happen, but unless you're dealing with one, try not to leave in the middle of a service. It's distracting for other churchgoers, it can interrupt the Mass, and you might catch a few dirty looks on the way out. Sit inside the pew with a baby. Parents are more than welcome to bring their children to Mass, but it might be better to sit on the far end of a pew. Babies need all kinds of attention, and if you need to change their diaper or soothe their cries, it's easier for you to slip out when you're on the outside rather than step over everyone's feet. Be afraid of the hymns. Don't be afraid to show a little enthusiasm during the hymns. Even if you don't have the best singing voice, that's okay. Songs are meant to be sung. That said, you also want to refrain from belting out above other churchgoers. Snap pictures. There's no reason to snap photos during Mass. Other churchgoers will likely be embarrassed or irked at the flash, and pulling out that phone is already a big faux pas. If you want to take photos of any architecture, ask for permission first and do it in an empty chapel. Drink from the chalice if you're sick. The chalice is a shared item, and when you're sick, you spread those germs to potentially hundreds of people. The priest may wipe it off after every sip, but that doesn't mean other churchgoers won't catch whatever you have. Go to church if you're sick. Speaking of which, you shouldn't go to church at all if you're sick. It can be a real bummer to miss Mass, but it's best to stay home. Whether it's you or your children battling a cough, no churchgoer wants to risk the common cold. Cram onto a crowded pew. We all know those people who shove their way onto a crowded train car, and that behavior is even worse in church. Pews shouldn't have more than 10 to 15 people on them. Trying to cram your way onto one that's already full inconveniences everyone. That's all for this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.